hello out there in the internet world or pod world. However you're listening to this, hello. How are you doing? I hope you're doing wonderful. And I hope you're gonna enjoy the show. I hope you enjoy the show. Countdown to Carolina Fear Fest. The song for tonight, Trapped by Tupac, of course. Link is in the description. Check that song at the end of the episode. But episode 493, Trapped in a Web with eight-legged freaks. Eight-legged freaks. Eight-legged freaks. Damn. I'm a little high, guys.
And it's not a hentai either. So just to make it very so if you were expecting that, you can,
Yeah, it's not one of those
dark web, and
Yeah, you'll find that in places. Yeah. Trust me, you can find that in some places.
Oh yeah, it is not that hard to find.
Nope. And before we dive into
webbed.
Oh yeah, and before we dive into this craziness we're about to get into, because it's gonna get weird and strange here. Yes, I said weird and strange. Not as crazy as it gets on Sturdo Vision, but you guys do need to start checking that out. That's every Friday at midnight. We get weird, we get wild. I promise you, one of these nights I will get Trevor on there. I got James on there. I will get Trevor on there one of these nights. It'll be something that in the distant down the road, we're gonna have something planned out. We're gonna have something fun planned out. I already have something in mind.
Very nice.
And
look forward to it.
To an extent, we've discussed it a little bit briefly, but it's gonna be fun, and you guys should be there for it. But it's gonna be a weird ass movie for sure.
It gotta be. Yeah, it gotta be.
But
that's Trevor's forte, is those weird movies.
It is, and what's cool and what I loved about it is I didn't even know it, because like over on which we went through all the Godzilla movies over on the Scene Times. You guys need to check those reviews out. It was such a great time, and I got to know Trevor on there. But I feel like the first episode that Trevor came on over here, I don't remember what we were reviewing, but the shit that he said on here that he was telling us that he watched, I see the whole other side of Trevor, and I was just like, I thought this guy was like awesomely amazing.
Was it High Tension? It might have been High Tension.
It may have been. I think it was. I think it was
High Tension and Matinee so far.
Oh, then it was High Tension. Oh wow, I felt like you were here more. It was Godzilla, because we did 16 weeks. We were together for 16 weeks of Godzilla. Not a bad thing. I'm not complaining. No. But like that, it was the High Tension episode. I don't remember what you said on there, what movie you said, or whatever it was where that conversation went. I was like, yo, this guy just went up. He was already a great in my book, and just like went up even higher with this conversation with the horror stuff.
It's just an amazing amount of useless knowledge. So
no, I'd say it's amazing.
PhD.
So it's not useless though, because it brings on these awesome conversations like this. And many, 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 many others that we're going to have. But no, the cool thing is what I was going to say. People don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge people and all that, which you don't. I don't. But it's just like looking at Trevor and then hearing the movies that he was saying, you're just like, he's never seen these movies before. Godzilla, you believe. But these shit, I'm just like, oh, wow. And then when he's telling us off the air, like what these movies are about, I'm like, I got to see these fucking movies, Trevor.
Especially when you say like a new movie, you're like, oh, you see that new movie that came out? He's like, no. I guess it's 1959. Legs like a lady with 4 and 15 legs.
Yeah.
But the thing is like the things that you bring to the table, like when you tell us these movies, I'm just like, I'm way more interested in whatever the hell we were about to talk about. I want to see that shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I want to see that one now. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just, oh man, it's just so awesome. It's just so awesome. Oh man. But I guess we could dive into these spider freaks. These spider freaks.
David Arquette.
Yes, David Arquette. And the reason why we are reviewing this movie really quick, Road to Carolina Fear Fest. I'm going to be going to Carolina Fear Fest, as you guys know. And David Arquette is going to be there. And he was in this movie, so reviewing this movie. But let's kick this one off. Oh shit. I'm so rude. How the fuck are you guys doing?
I'm doing quite well. I'm very happy to be here, Sturdy and James. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah. James, how the fuck are you doing?
Doing good. Always good for a pod night,
Oh yeah. And it's been getting like, I know it's been a couple weeks, guys, since we've cut it down to just Thursdays and Fridays, but it is so. My Tuesdays are all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
My Tuesdays, like, I'm just like, I'm so used to podding on Tuesdays because I've been doing it for the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. And now we don't anymore. It's been too long, Chad. It's been too long. We miss you, bro. Doing good. We got to collab soon, man. Yeah, let me know when you're free and shit again, man. Oh man, by the way, go check out his podcast, Video Store Clerks. Those guys are fucking
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. Video Store Clerks. Drop a link in here, Chad. Dope movie. All movies. They don't just do a specific genre. I know they're huge fans of horror, but
yeah.
Go check them out. They're phenomenal. Phenomenal show. We've worked together before, and we're definitely gonna work together again. I understand that, man. You gotta take care of business. I get it. But 8-Legged Freaks. This was the first time watch for me. And of course, like I said, I watched it because of the con and stuff. And
I've seen it a few times.
This is a fun spider movie. Like, if someone was like, I want to watch a fun, silly spider movie with a little bit, I could see how people, if you have a fear of spiders, I could already see how you could be afraid of the movie. 100%. I get it. But I feel like it's a fun spider movie, and I feel like this is actually a good movie to introduce, depending on how what you let your children watch as far as horror goes. I don't feel like this is a bad introduction one.
Oh. I mean, there's like violence, but it's like soft violence.
Yeah.
It's like spiders just jumping on people. It's like nothing crazy.
It's the old thing with monster-based films or things of that nature. You know, if the goo was red, it would get an R. If the goo is whatever other color, you're guaranteed a PG-13 or a PG.
You're right.
I never thought of that. I never thought of that.
Cut it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep.
You're right, because they're like, that's not blood.
Right.
Blood's red. You're like, that's
but they can just make it a goop. they make it a goop, which also takes some of the fear away from it to an extent. But also, I mean, in a weird way, it could for some people, it can make it.
Well, the thing is, everything don't have red blood. That spider could have had green blood. You know.
True. Go check out that YouTube channel.
It's definitely a fluid-heavy film.
And it was. A lot of spiders were getting killed.
Cool.
A lot of green goop.
Cool to see. You know, it is one that I would recommend. I've seen it at least 3 times. I watched it again. I saw it in a movie theater, and it just didn't do a lot for me at the time. I rewatched it, and then I rewatched it again for this. The second viewing was much more entertaining. You know, the film, it was like, okay, so the film that I would compare it to the most is Evolution. It gave me the same kind of feel. As far as that being an X-Files comedy style, and this being this just huge amalgamation of monster movies. There are so many references in the film. It's utterly crazy. I mean, I hate to say anything negative about David Arquette, but I didn't really care for him as a character. I didn't think he was a believable protagonist.
No, I was more with the sheriff.
The sheriff is by far more of that, and I cannot remember his name. I feel horrible. I remember movies he's been in, but the conspiracy DJ.
Oh, the one in the trailer.
He was the best character in the film.
Yeah.
He was the most fleshed out while still being a cardboard cutter character. Yeah. That was probably my biggest issue with this film, is that it all was a little too predictable, and the characters just don't have any meat to them. Now I can see where, I mean, most likely that was done to reflect horror movies, big bug movies from the 1950s. There was it was cookie cutter character writing. So, to an extent, but it's like David Arquette. I mean, love the man. He's phenomenal. When he was in Scream, it was perfect. This one, it just, everyone around him shined more.
I agree. And the thing is, he's known for the little silly goofs in movies, but the DJ guy, the conspiracy guy, it was funnier than him. And the little comedy with the spiders. When the spiders were getting hurt and everything, they had to ow. You hear the little owls and everything.
Yeah.
The little silly crap. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I was actually watching it with Cindy, and a couple times she was just like, the spiders are freaking talking. And I'm
exactly.
Yeah. It's funny the first 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. But I'm saying they had more had more comedy than his character. And he's usually known for the silliness.
Yeah.
Well, he was, so I forget his name. I think it's Mike. No, Mike's the kid. The young kid in it.
Chad got Dougie Doug.
Dougie, same here. He was the DJ. He was
the DJ was Dougie Doug?
Yeah.
Okay.
DJ was Dougie Doug. And what character did Arquette play?
What's up, George?
Arquette was. See, that's how bad it is. You can't remember. He's the main character.
He's the main character, and I can't remember his name.
I know. It's crazy, right?
Well, in short, one of the things that first got me was when his character was supposed to be this bad boy that comes back to, grasp the inheritance of his father. And, he's down there in the mines telling them about methane. And it just it gave me okay. So Chainsaw, the one that, why can't I think of his name?
Toby Hooper?
Not Toby
the main
Hooper.
Character was Chris McCormick or Chris.
There's the Saw movies. The one that recently, not the one that came out, was had the comedian who wrote it too.
I don't.
Okay, it was the comedian that got hit by Will Smith.
Chris Rock.
Spiral.
Chris Rock, yes. It kind of reminded me of the same way that Chris Rock was disappointing in that film. It was the same way I felt about Arquette. Now, this is a comedy, and it goes better. It's like there's something about, if your character is supposed to be, even if it's a little guy working his way up, it needs to be somewhat believable. And that's kind of where I felt with David Arquette. The kid, Mike, very much like, an upper middle class version of Short Round or something. And there was a Goonies feel definitely to him too. It was fun.
No emotion. Didn't even show emotion. His friend died from spiders. I think Ray died. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. He went and visited him every week. Didn't care. No tear.
Listen, I like good,
Bill Noonan played the spider collector at the beginning, which so he's really kind of royalty in horror. One of those people you just see in a lot of horror movies. He played the Tooth Fairy in Manhunter. So to have him as the pseudo-ish, what is a contemporary 2002 mad scientist? A guy who deals in exotic spiders. So the basic plot is very much like a 1950s big insect film. So the big bad boy in this film is toxic waste. And toxic waste is being stored in caverns underneath a dying mall called the Prosperity Mall, which back in 2002, working, as a manager for malls, it was that time that all malls were starting to go, ugh. But what happens is somehow in transporting this toxic waste illegally to under the caverns, a barrel falls into the lake, little body of water, not even a lake, and it somehow screws with crickets. So this whole film starts based on the fact that you have toxic waste, contagion crickets
that are super steroids for spiders.
It keeps going. The plot is so nil in between that. That's pretty much all you need to know, and everybody else is just a cookie cutter character.
Mick, I think you're muted.
Fine, hey, whatever. Man. Mute me.
Listen,
dare you guys? It was all me, but I'm pretending it was you. So
I would never.
How's it going, Mick?
How you guys doing?
How you doing tonight, Mick?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. I had a listen. I want to say thank you to Sturdy for this one. I haven't seen this. I worked in a movie theater when this came out. I saw it then. I think I was working projection at the time. I might have been on the floor by that point, but it was just, yes, I get demoted very quickly. But no, I did. I went and saw this in theaters, and I loved the aspect of it just being this goofy. First of all, Kari Wuhrer. Love Kari Wuhrer. Full career. Amazing. Everybody in this movie.
Early role for Scarlett Johansson.
Very early role for Scarlett Johansson.
And actually, acting-wise, she stands out versus everybody in the film, and she's not even in the film that much.
It's true.
Yeah.
I forgot she was in it until we redid it, and then seeing David Arquette in there playing, he played a pretty good role in this. I just watched Ready to Rumble not too long ago, so
the wrestling
him play a more straightforward person in it.
I seen that shit because he's so obsessed with wrestling. He's like, I'm making a wrestling movie.
Wasn't he champion for a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, WCW champion. Not WCW.
He was the WCW. It was a promotional thing, and he won the belt in a match. And then he's solidified as
very Andy Kaufman of him.
Yeah,
true.
A lot of celebrities do it now. So like he could be in like Wrestling Hall of Fame and everything if it ever happened.
Billy Corgan.
He was a champion.
Yeah.
That's true.
What's everybody's ratings on this before we dive any further?
I like it. So I'm going to go ahead, and if it's me, and since I'm late to the party anyway, I will say this one gets a 6 from me.
6?
22 years ago, probably a 4. Today, maybe a 6.
Okay.
On your scale.
It didn't bother me either. It was entertaining enough. I was like, didn't hate it. I thought I was going to hate it. But this is like the third time I've seen it. So I still holds up a little bit. It's goofy, like Mick said. I'll give it a 6 as well.
6?
Yeah.
How about you, Trevor?
With a 5.5.
Okay.
And the only reason is, Mick, one of the things that I was talking about is I just could not get behind David Arquette in this film. I just felt he was character-wise as the protagonist. And the thing is, these are not very interesting characters. They're supposed to be cookie-cutter characters. But his was the least convincing, in my opinion. I mean, everyone else seemed to be shining around him. So
I will say this about David Arquette. And I realize I'm a little biased because, with CFF coming up and working with it. But I've always liked seeing David Arquette show up in a movie.
Oh, I love David Arquette.
When he shows up in any movie, it's comfortable. I feel like
the Cusack effect.
Yeah, that's a great. Oh my God, I love that idea of it too. The Cusack effect. They show up in the movie. It's automatically
and you automatically like it because they're there.
Yeah.
It's like film family. So
I mean, I can't think of anyone who could have done this movie except if you're going to switch him out with anybody. I just wish you switch him out with Nicolas Cage because I would love to see that. I'd love to see that goddamn performance.
No, we're not going to. We don't need that bullshit because
it would work. It would work too.
I'll watch Nicolas Cage in anything. I'll be honest.
I'm going to tell you this right now. If Nicolas Cage was at this con, that would be the one movie I would just avoid every. Yo, what about now? Fuck that. I wouldn't be covering that shit.
I think it would work too with Nick Cage, especially when this came out a little bit younger Nick Cage.
No, it's not
gonna work.
Don't put that in the atmosphere because he's gonna hear that or feel that.
He's gonna remake it
like right now.
Hey.
And then he's gonna play the fucking spider.
I love it.
Well, you giving it an air?
All right. Well, I'll take him out. But David Arquette, I feel, worked for this because he was such a goofy character in it. Like the fact that like you can't have like a strong hero in this role. Like she is the strong hero. Kari Wuhrer covers the strong in this. I like the gender reversal of it. Like she's the strong sheriff, which in a 1950s version always going to be a man.
To be a male. Yeah.
And the woman who is like the bumbling getting into trouble is always going to be, like I said, a woman, like in those 50s movies. So flipping it, making him come home, and there's like this love story there, but not too goofy, because he played it pretty straight well enough, I think. Like goofy enough where I'm like, okay, this woman does actually have feelings for you. Sort of like he's goofy, but at the same time, like he's trying to do right. He's trying, and he's back in town. Like but he is heroic. He goes back for like the old lady and such. Like, I don't believe The Rock is going back for the old lady. I believe David Arquette is.
He's like, fuck that old bitch.
He rock bottom.
Flip this 30, tag a minute, because I do believe David Arquette will save anyone over The Rock. I did believe that too.
Yeah. Dave Arquette's lucky he's not still champion, or I would challenge him for that belt.
But
I'll go to CFF.
Listen, David Arquette, I want to tell you this. I give this movie a 5.5. I had some laughs with it, had some fun with it. I was going between a 5 and a 6. And I'm just gonna go with my guy Trevor. He's right. I'm gonna go with 5.5. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm just saying I agree with Trevor. That's all I'm saying.
You went backwards?
Backwards from what?
You were a 6, weren't you?
Before, I think.
No,
I never.
I was a 6.
Oh, you didn't give yours. That's right. Sorry,
James
and I were 6. Yeah. I think this. I mean, all right. Listen, I love David Arquette, and I love Scarlett Johansson, and I love Kari Wuhrer, and I love all the actors, and Tom Noonan, the whole nine.
Oh, speaking of David Arquette,
and I'm going to tell you straight up, I really enjoy this movie, but 6 is high. So if anybody's like, well, that's an 8 movie, you're mad. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I was saying that I'm usually stingy on scores, and you're right, Mick. A 6 is high for me because usually, like, the movie's just okay. Okay is 5. If you get above okay, you're like, hey, take it. That means I recommend it. Watch it. It's a 6. You can watch it.
With you saying that, Mick, I believe that, and I get that because I have so many nostalgia movies that I give points that some people say they don't deserve, but fuck those people.
I want to point out this would be a great double feature with the 1986 Blob.
Oh yeah,
so
very different films. That Eight-Legged Freaks is not a remake, but it is a homage to a whole movement of films.
I believe we reviewed the Blob and the remake too, right?
Oh yeah, we did. Oh no, Liz, listen. I really have that down on the list. We are going to do that.
Liz,
we got to do.
I was going to watch it. He said, "You know what? Forget about Liz. Save it. I got an idea."
That's not what I said.
Everybody,
and so
here's what really happened.
Real quick, if I can ask you all real quick, everybody bow their heads, and I got to make this prayer. God, please let me win the mega jackpot because I want to take that money and I want to accurately get it right. And I want to do Helen Keller versus the Lord of the Flies. And that's the next movie I want to make, and I want to get everybody back for it. But I need to win that Mega Millions jackpot to make this movie, and I need your help to do that.
I want to be a part of that.
Let's start a GoFundMe, Nick.
And I want to buy the Blood Lake rights for Sturdy.
There you go.
Listen, if we're going to get the rights for Blood Lake, we have to get the rights for Helen Keller.
We can afford that now.
I just have this vision of Helen Keller roaming around going, why do they call him Piggy? Why do they call him Piggy? Wait, I can't speak. Oh, no.
Oh my God! You have to see Helen Keller versus the Night Wolves.
Yes, Trevor, you have to see Helen Keller versus the Night Wolves. It's one of those movies that
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Turn your brain off, enjoy it, and then watch the review right after.
Like the Werewolf versus the Illuminati film.
Trevor,
yeah.
If there's ever a movie that I'm begging you to watch.
Not just Trevor, everybody out there. You know what I'm going to do for you guys? You know what I'm doing for you guys? Right? I'm gonna go find it right now, and I'm gonna post it in my. I'm gonna post it in the thing because
why does that? A bonus content. My wife just gave me spicy jalapeno cotton candy.
Nice.
That, and I love it.
I thought it was a flashlight at first.
I don't. I'm gonna try and see what it tastes like.
It's fair.
Oh, Mick, I wanted to ask you real quick because I brought up the beginning before you were here.
Yes.
So this movie gave me the same feeling, and I give it a 5.5 to this day, that Evolution did.
Good pull.
Remember the Duchovny movie that was an X-Files
novel? I love that movie. It
was a great movie, but it wasn't, at the time it came out, I think this film, like that film, has actually gotten better with age.
Yeah.
When it first came out, like Evolution, it just, you got to remember there was like 12 years separating Arachnophobia from this film.
Yeah, there wasn't.
So it's not an Arachnophobia ripoff by any stretch of the imagination. And watching it, I have to say that, unfortunately, I don't know any of the names of the technicians or the supervisors at any given time, but I thought the CGI in this film was phenomenal. For
2002 and a low budget, like sort of schlocky horror. Yeah, these are really good.
Close-up CGI, there was issues with, but their ability to utilize CGI, especially there's a scene involving jumping spiders, particularly that species, and a truck. And I remember watching that being like, okay, at some point there's going to be this major issue that just makes it look a fool. And it really worked. And that is a testament to the film. That's why I give it that extra 5%, is for a low budget. And, the poor guy who directed, Elkayem, he went on to do like these Living Dead films. Let's see here, what were they? They were, I felt kind of sad because he did this film, and then he went on to do a whopping 6 films that included Return of the Living Dead Necropolis, Return of the Living Dead Rave to the Grave. Yes, I saw that piece of turd. And Without a Paddle, Nature's Calling, 2009. So, wow. This made me wonder here. Okay, so what kind of budget are we working with here? Can't be a lot. But apparently it did not do well. Oh,
actually, it made over
spectacular. No. It was budgeted at an estimated $30 million. Its U.S. and Canadian gross was just over $17 million.
Oh.
This would explain why this director went on to do some pretty dreadful things. Yeah. Well, I remember it being a flop when it came out.
Well, 45 on a 30 million isn't that bad. Everybody pulls in the elusive marketing budget, which doesn't factor in. I don't know why everybody keeps doing it. That's just me.
Well,
I'm not going on another rant.
This film probably did very well in China. This is a film that made its money probably in China, and then also it made a lot of money in the home video market. I also remember this one popping up a lot on cable services.
Yeah, so, all the time.
That's a shame. The Elkayem, the director, really has not been able to see the fruits of his labor. It was just, when your U.S. and Canadian gross was 17 million versus 30 million, you become, Hollywood fodder.
I know, because Hollywood sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it still drives me nuts that I remember I was talking to Jonathan when Jonathan Frakes was on. When Jonathan Frakes was on the show, and I had asked him about that because he did the Thunderbirds after he did Clock Stoppers. Well, first I asked him about Clock Stoppers, and he goes, "That's the one that was like his big one that they were really banking on. It didn't do as well." And then he did the next one, and he said that's what put him in movie jail. This man directed 2 of the biggest Star Trek movies and the highest grossing. Directed countless television episodes of that are widely considered some of the best episodes of the shows. And then he did Clock Stoppers, which I'd argue is a pretty good movie. It's a really good kids movie, and I don't understand why people don't like it, with great visual effects. And Thunderbirds was fine. And because Hollywood is who it was, and especially at that time, which is around the time this comes out, that's why I'm correlating it. You still had this Hollywood jail, they'll never make any money. They did that. The first 2 Star Trek movies made a ton of money. Clock Stoppers made its money back. How are you going to go off of one flop? And they did that with so many directors that we miss out on today. That we miss out on having been able to come up through the ranks and be dominating like the Steven Spielbergs and the Martin Scorseses and all them were today. Imagine all the great, a horror film like this coming out, more and more stuff like this coming out. I blame Hollywood, and I blame the people not going to see it in America.
Our Corman is Lloyd Kaufman.
Well, my Corman's Corman.
That's a lot. Corman, these, right now they're like the dinosaurs of, the new wave of American cinema. But most of them had worked in some way with a Roger Corman or Samsey Arkoff or whatever. And it was a system in which you did the work, and if you showed promise and if you delivered, especially if you delivered good and money making, they'd make sure your dream project would happen. The only person I really know who does that, but on a really, really low budget way, is Lloyd Kaufman. We wouldn't have James Gunn without Lloyd Kaufman. But you got to remember what Lloyd Kaufman is selling and what he wants. There's no nuance like Corman, Boxcar Bertha. It's an exploitation film, but it's also just this amazingly written American film. So, the Hollywood system, it's what it is.
It is what it is. You're absolutely right.
Everyone
That's why
it is expendable. It is the capitalist area of cinema.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry I had to bitch about that, guys, but I really
you're good.
I felt like
I agree with you. That's why I've been liking a lot more indie and foreign movies.
Yeah.
More than Hollywood movies.
So right here, real quick, this is the movie for next week. Next week, Bloodthirst.
Mm-hmm.
It was the last movie on the wheel, so there was no point in spinning the wheel for it. But so it'll be hopefully a fun one for us. And then, guys, listen, people out there, listen. I got to show you something very important. This is why you need to watch this movie. I'll explain it. There's really going to be no explanation needed to, say why you should watch this. You should just.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yep. Mick, are you ready for this, Mick?
I don't know if I'm ready for this. I'm in though. In for a penny, in for a pound.
Okay. Good. Because
you played the trailer?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
James, listen. Sometimes you have to do this for people, You have to. I can't be selfish, James. I can't be selfish to the world. So here we go.
You have a collect call from
Ross Patterson,
an inmate at Street Justice Films.
I want to tell you a story about a little girl who lost her eyesight and her hearing during a horrific wolf attack. This girl went on to save her entire town.
What is Helen Keller doing here? Is she on a blind date?
Simply by using her other senses.
What's Helen Keller's favorite color? I bet it's corduroy.
And a bunch of other cool shit, too.
I think your sister has a gift.
I'm gonna teach her how to read lips.
Diner. Whose vagina?
I can hear you just fine, fuckface.
I can pick up the vibrations of your voice through the glass.
You're a real fucking miracle worker, Ann Sullivan.
They laughed at her lack of hearing and sight.
She's blind!
She will laugh standing over their grave.
Jesus, that's really fucking dark.
Sorry.
Never made love to a black guy before.
Oh, I'm not black.
Everyone's black now.
From the man who brought you FDR American Badass, Oh Boy Drowning Out the Fury, and the first ever best-selling romance novel for dudes, At Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed, Stay James Street James.
I just taught myself Braille on tape.
Starring Blythe Moynihan, Darth Granite, Bambi Lightfeather, Peter Portnoy, Maggie Martindale, Ronald Shortloin, Peter Tom Donnell, Legs Diamond, Wilf Hamelback, the Scagnetti Brothers, Denise Shrimpson, Guantanamo, and featuring Van Sant Law.
You have the right to remain silent.
What's the difference between Helen Keller and a normal person that can hear and see? I'm not a fucking pussy.
Helen Keller versus Night Wolves.
Okay, who turned off the lantern in the outhouse and left the plunger in the toilet?
We're even.
God damn it, Helen! Ass buggering, mothering, cunting, fucking goddamn shit.
Help us finish the movie by clicking the link below and going to the end.
All right, Trevor, before you say anything.
How about not linking, clicking that link?
Yes, no, Trevor. I understand what you just watched, and I understand, and I was apprehensive too.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Awesome.
like, this is. Yeah, I was like, when I saw that trailer, I was like, I don't know. This just looks like schlock bullshit that I don't want to watch. And then I watched it. And I have to tell you, it's a straight up, it's meant to be a comedy. That's it. Like, it's just meant for that.
It's
It has a very Cannibal the Musical feel to it.
Yeah. So like, I think,
I
think everybody should. It's funny as hell. It's offensive, but it's funny as hell.
It's so good.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's a turn your brain off, let everything go. If you smoke, watch this movie.
It's so good.
And just have a great time. If you could watch it with some friends, like-minded friends, that'd be even better. But this movie, oh my goodness.
So good.
Like,
so good.
This
That's
is
not what we're here to talk about. I want to talk about Castellar's comment here saying Kari Wuhrer was great in this. Yes, she was. I've been saying it from the beginning. And Sliders. I love that show. Thank you.
I love that show too.
She came on towards the later seasons as a replacement as the female lead. She's just fantastic. It's great. I love that show. And I think they should remake it and bring it back.
Nice. I agree.
I've never
I'll
seen
watch
that. Sliders?
It's a sci-fi. It's a sci-fi.
I remember
show.
it.
Yeah.
It was on for several seasons.
Yeah, there was like 7 seasons or something.
Yeah, it was on for a while.
They're trying to get home. It's like just fucking portals open up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's like on a clock. Yeah, it's like a little remote. It's like a timer, right?
Yeah, they're on timers. So they jump into different like worlds.
Wormholes, like shit.
And it's all kind of like our world.
Mm-hmm.
But just like completely different stuff going on in each one, right? So like there are Nazis 1 in 1, or there's giant murder hornets, which is the first time I've ever seen a giant murder hornet. So when they said it in 2020, I was like, are we the Sliders universe?
Those big bastards.
But yeah, that was
I'm gonna have to check that out.
It was Jerry O'Connell starred in it.
Yep.
Looks like it's on Peacock. So
yeah,
check it out over on Peacock.
I loved it. Thought it was a great show.
But let's see what else.
How do you see the Helen Keller movie?
The original, The Miracle Worker?
No. I'm not in an Bancroft mood. I mean the one with the werewolves.
That's on YouTube.
You're not even werewolves.
Oh, YouTube. No, YouTube. You're right. YouTube. That's right.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube?
Yeah, literally. Helen Keller versus Night Wolf.
There's no werewolf.
Helen Keller versus the werewolves?
No,
Night wolves.
Night wolves. It's
Night
just
wolves. Okay.
wolves with glowing.
It's just wolves
eyes.
that come out at night and tear up the people in the village.
Don't
It doesn't make a
spoil.
difference to
I'm
Helen
not
Keller.
spoiling
So,
anything.
you know,
Don't start that.
werewolves, night wolves,
Listen.
dawn wolves, morning wolves.
It's amazing.
It is an amazing movie. Like it's one you're not gonna forget.
You don't have to worry about vampires. I feel the sun on my face.
I was mad too because in the first few seconds you see the night wolves and you're like, they're not werewolves, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And then you watch the movie and you're like, I don't care. This is great. The night wolves are perfect. If they added werewolves, it'd make it worse because there'd be dialogue taken away from this awesome actors.
It was just why it was so fun, and it was one of those movies to where, like, if it wasn't as hilarious as it was, a lot of those scenes would have been way too long. But I swear to you, I was laughing. I mean, I was watching with these guys, but still, even when I was watching by myself, I was laughing the whole damn time. I was high, but
dude, I like literally like I cannot express enough. Like, I'm an absurdist, so like, and it is true absurdity, that movie. That's why I say it's like, don't go into it thinking like, oh, like there's stories there. There's actually a thin story there that works. And
how does that compare to, say, like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Better.
Okay.
Because that
huge amount to be better, but
true, but it's like vastly better because they added comedy to it.
Oh,
and
good. Yeah, that's a plus. Yeah.
And good. And the thing with the comedy is, it's like that stuff that you're gonna laugh. It's the stuff that some of it is stuff that people say you shouldn't laugh at. I guess you would say nowadays, because but it's fucking hilarious. I mean, you heard the guy say he learned Braille on tape.
Yeah,
that's what we won Trevor over. That's what Trevor's like, I'm watching this.
James St. James or whatever his name is.
Oh, oh my God! There's gonna be a surprise in this movie for you, Trevor. That's gonna pop up randomly a few times. You're just gonna be like,
"Oh yeah! Oh my God!"
Don't tell them what it is.
I'm not.
I'm glad they didn't show it in the trailer, but it was just random, weird, and hilarious. And it like after you watch the whole movie, you're just like, I don't know why, but I'm glad that was in there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like Mick. I'm an absurdist. So
it's absurd. You're like, what the hell does that have to do with the movie?
It does it well. I love it.
It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so stupidly absurd.
But anyways, eight-legged freaks.
Yes. Enough about
It's
Helen
just kind
Keller.
of absurd to begin with.
I thought the giant tarantula was pretty cool. It's like they were like talking to each other. Like the tarantula, I got the door, guys. Just ripping the door off and backs up and lets them all in. It's like he's the freaking boss.
I think for me, I literally watched in the same day. I revisited the new film Infested, which, to my knowledge, is a French film. Now, there's a film that I feel falls in the horror zone, but excels in very tense character writing. So I watched this after that. So, my arguments about both of them seem to be like the opposite. Now it gives us, maybe it's too many spiders sometimes. I did love them all. Great reference to both Dawn of the Dead and Blues Brothers when the spiders take over a mall, and that's just truly awesome. And it really is awesome when you start understanding, because they don't talk about it really that much until then, that you're like, wow, it is 2002. Half of the stores in this mall don't exist. And it is cute with things like Prosperity Mall and things like that. But it's a comedy. It's fun.
Really is.
Yeah.
And that's why I can get lost in stuff like this. Like, I give horror comedy a lot more leeway than I give most. Like the only time I'm really hard on horror comedy is if they treat the horror poorly. Like, if they take it seriously, I'm usually really cool with it. Whatever. And that's what I like to go back to, ironically, Helen Keller and Night Wolves, to compare it to this movie. In a way, it's none of it's ever brushed off, or like the threat is there. The funny is within the people, you know, and then within the circumstances going on at a time. Like, because even the spiders that were acting funny in it, which did take me out a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying that they should have done that, but even when they did that, like, it's still, there was an element there that I didn't mind. Like, but it did take me out a bit. So like, that's why points get taken off. You got to take it seriously, is what it comes down to. But I do enjoy this movie, and I think it's fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun film. It is definitely worth a watch. It's definitely worth a watch. I'm not saying I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but just I'm not mad I watched it. What do you say? It's retired? Yeah.
Perfect movie for like ages 5 to 8 boys.
Like a good starter.
Yeah. Like,
and then once you graduate from that,
but also so over the top, and you know, it's paced very well. That's one thing we'll definitely give Eight-Legged Freaks. And yet again, it is very sad that, you know, Elkayem, who was the director, you know, he even wrote the damn thing. He did this other film that was like a Universal Monsters ripoff before this. I forget the name. But, you know, it is sad that, you know, somebody with a promising career. Now, whether I'm going to say I love this movie or not, or, you know, would I truly recommend it or put it on any must-see list, but it's very admirable for somebody's first major film. And nobody looked back at it when it started to make money in home video and on cable and go, you know, well, maybe we should give this guy another chance. No, he's relegated to as low as you can go. I mean, basically, he's making sequels to old Bull films. Yeah, that's pretty low, boys and girls.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Well, I guess I have to ask one question. So, of the four of us here, are there any of us here who are truly arachnophobic?
Nope.
I mean, I don't want a million spiders crawling on me or anything, but like, I don't know. I'm not really arachnophobic.
Yeah, I would hope
not. I don't even want one crawling on me, but I'm not
like shame, but you know.
No,
the spiders
like a house spider or anything. I'll pick it up.
What about a tarantula, James?
Yeah, I'll hold one.
You don't provoke them. I mean, you're gonna be fine.
That people have them for pets. They have them on their shoulder, let them walk around them and shit.
I'm good. People also,
like I said, the only thing I have fear of is heights and death.
What about snakes?
That's the good one. Yeah,
snakes. I'll hold.
Nope. See, no, you can keep.
Well, I'm going to tell you, one of those fears is definitely going to come true one day.
I know. Well, I mean, I know everybody's afraid of death, but I'm talking about like death for no reason out of nowhere, like that, like my luck, like getting surgery and I don't wake up because I'm under and I don't wake up type shit. It's that type of death. The surprise.
He's a surprise.
Much rather, you know, not to go all morbid and stuff here, but I'd much rather have a surprise than like, you know, have a year of suffering leading up to death.
Well, I guess you put it that way, but my brain don't work that way. It goes too bad. You're still going to be afraid of death.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
But no, heights, man. It got better, but it used to be, when I was younger, I couldn't cross a bridge. I used to walk to the doctors with my mom, and I had to walk towards the road because I couldn't be too close to the edge. And climbing a ladder going to a pool, 2 feet off the ground. I wouldn't jump rope.
Damn.
Because I didn't want to be in the air at all. Mm-hmm. Never flown a plane and never will.
It's not necessary.
You know who did fly a plane?
Helen Keller.
Helen Keller.
Yep, she did.
She did.
She did in 1942.
Yeah. They didn't believe in me.
Wasn't she the one that found?
I told Chrissy there, and they didn't believe me. She flew a plane. They didn't believe me.
Just saying. It's true.
Yeah.
And she fought some night wolves.
Oh shit!
I don't.
Oh man!
It was bad enough with streaming, but I have to say, as you go through a channel like Tubi, you really don't know how many like knockoff films are being made today in comparison to the number we had back in the video boom. I don't know how these movies. I mean, we're talking spider movies. I mean,
yeah,
at least 10 spider movies that you could name off that are all of that like very poor quality. Let's try to at least live up to like Sharknado 3. So.
Helen Keller, she flew a plane. Yo, she did something no one else will ever do. That's some shit. That's an amazing feat.
Lots of things you'll never do.
Yeah, well, I'm a good person.
And she also believed in eugenics.
Well, listen, we like the Helen Keller from the movie, from the Helen Keller versus Nightwolves movie. We don't like the real one.
She's frozen with Walt Disney, so.
Probably. I don't know that.
She also has a song out. Aaron heard it. Remember that song, Aaron?
Yeah, I shared one in the group, I think, earlier today.
Let me, baby, one more time.
No, she did. She had a cover. She did a Careless Whisper cover. It was beautiful.
Yeah, Careless Whisper. It was beautiful.
Sorry.
Pull it up, Aaron. Pull it up.
I can't on here. I'll have to do it after when the show's over. I'll pull it up. Oh, so okay. Listen. Helen Keller did experience flying a plane in 1946.
Yeah, we know. We figured it out. I thought it was 42.
She flew the skies. She flew the Connecticut skies. That's beautiful. So she flew.
You haven't listened.
Well, you don't know if it's beautiful because she couldn't see.
No, I know it was beautiful because I was in a plane before. I could see. I look out the window.
Oh, I was about to say you're lucky you tried to rub it in her face and everything.
No, she could rub it in our faces that she. She could brag to us that she flew a plane. I don't know how she'll brag, but she could brag to us that she flew a plane.
Oh God!
A lot of elaborate signing.
Very elaborate. You just have to catch her doing this one day. That'll just be her bragging. Just her just walking around like this. She's probably just feeling around like, look, she's doing that plane bullshit again. Trip her.
I love that so much.
We went off the rails with this movie, guys.
Yeah,
8-legged freaks. That's what brings it.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Was there something you wanted to share?
Yes, he does.
Yes.
And you know what?
I want to talk a little bit about where 8-legged freaks fits in as far as the spider film, and of the films that are either of giant monsters or you'll see in almost any kind of fantasy realmed horror like Fulci and things like that, spiders are used because they're almost definitely, if you took a poll, probably within the top 5, not top 3 phobias of most people. So they make for great fodder for fright films. And I wanted to bring up a few that I thought were pretty cool. Now, this first one, Spider Woman with Basil Rathbone, is actually a Sherlock Holmes film. And it's about a woman who kills people by placing poisonous spiders near them.
Spoiler alert.
It's a little different, but it goes back to the idea that, spiders are genuinely creepy. They are frightening. It's been used in like a Sherlock Holmes film. So, and then the next one is the one that is most relevant, and that is the Jack Arnold film from roughly, I think, around 56, Tarantula, which is exactly what it is. It stars the main man of almost a majority of the major atomic scare, Red Scare films, John Agar. And it has a mad scientist, and he's trying to save the world by making everything big. And, a tarantula gets out and, well, it does what a big tarantula does and, destroys things. But it's an excellent film in that canon of 1950s monster films. The next one is actually The Spider, which this one actually, yet again, I think it was around 1958, is yet again it was produced by Samuel Z. Arkoff. It is a 1950s big monster, aka whether it's atomic scare or red scare. But this film is cool because it also takes place underground, and the spiders are underground, like Eight-Legged Freaks. And then the last one is not necessarily a great movie, but it's got my man William Shatner in it, and I gotta give him love. This came out in the 1970s. Kingdom of the Spiders. William Shatner plays a local vet, and these tarantulas just go crazy. And there's all kind of wonderful scenes in which you have William Shatner covered in tarantula. So I just wanted to bring up those films as if Eight-Legged Freaks, brought you into a mindset of, well, what came before? What are some other cool spider movies? We have to do a shout out to Arachnophobia from 1980. That is a truly amazing film. And actually, Sturdy, we talked about a film before that's kind of like Eight-Legged Freaks, and I think did it better. And that was Joe Dante's Matinee. Joe Dante's Matinee takes the homage to cinema, homage to late 1950s, 1960s cinema. It's funny, and it's a really tight film. Kind of what they were trying to do here with Eight-Legged Freaks, but it never, solidifies like Matinee. But both of those films would make a very good double feature if you're talking about, let's make it a triple feature with Ed Wood. I think would be a great triple feature.
Nice.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not arachnophobic, but I ain't about to be going on no bender or watching spider movies. Unless it's Spider-Man. No.
Was it Giant Spider Invasion? I got through 15 minutes of it and I fell asleep. It was so dreadful.
You got one spider movie out of me this year.
See, now I'm gonna go down a weird rabbit hole and watch a bunch of weird
annual spider film.
I love it.
And oh man, I can't wait now. Appreciate that.
That's a lot. No, those are some great titles too. Especially Spider Woman. I love the Basil Rathbone run of Sherlock Holmes movies, and that one stands out in my opinion. That's a particularly.
They also made a sequel to it, from what I understand.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was.
I figured they were all sort of sequels, but I didn't know there was like a direct.
It's like Revenge of the Spider Woman.
I like it.
Nice.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, I gotta go down that weird rabbit hole of spiders now. Not right now.
Grab the raid. So
I like that. Grab the. Ooh. All right, we're gonna. You know what? I gotta say something to these guys and jot something down, but I don't want to say it out loud yet. So go check out all of our socials, people, please. CFF is coming up very, very, very soon. Link is in the description. And my advice to you for today is drink more water. It's getting hotter out. Drink more water. Not telling you to put down the soda and the beer because you're still going to drink it anyways, but drink more water. Have a great night.
Hydration is underrated.
It is.
Yes.
Like if your pee is really dark yellow and smelling, of course, talk to your doctor, but drink a lot of water.
Don't do it. You'll get kidney stones, and they suck.
See that? It's all about health. Health is wealth.
All right, I'm out of here.
Right. On that note,